Let's go to page 39. Just want to point out one thing. Where it says the Egyptians treated us badly. It means they bad-mouthed our loyalty. Pharaoh set the ominous tone in speaking to his people, and Pharaoh said, let us outsmart them. Excuse me. Let us outsmart them so that they may not increase. Otherwise, in the event of war, they will join our enemies, fight against us, and expel us from the land. Now, this reminds me of a canard about Jews, and not just about Jews, about other minorities, but Jews have certainly faced this, the canard of dual loyalty, that for some reason we're not loyal Americans because secretly we're loyal only to the state of Israel. And that is absolutely ridiculous. All of us, I know, we're proud Americans. We participate in democracy. We support American society. You can, it's like having two loves. You can love being America, and you can love the state of Israel. There's no contradiction there. Nevertheless, there are people who say that you got to choose, and you can't have both, and that is just ridiculous. And you can see it's echoed here in the Torah. Pharaoh, one of the first enemies of the Jewish people, accused us of this kind of dual loyalty in talking about that we would join Pharaoh's enemies in some kind of uprising. So you can see where this whole thing, it goes back for literally thousands of years. Okay, let's look at page 41. Hang on. Here we go. We cried out the power of a groan. So if you read the passages, you see that we were oppressed, and we finally cried out to Adonai, the God of our fathers. God heard our voice, saw our persecution, our toil, and our oppression. So there's this beautiful comment on that. We cried out the power of a groan. The Hasidic Rebbe of Gur says, the sigh, the groan, and the crying out of the children of Israel from slavery was the beginning of redemption. As long as they did not cry out against their exile, they were neither worthy nor ready for redemption. Those are strong words. But it's true. I mean, think about not just our ancestors. Think about anyone who is struggling. Just want to make sure we're okay in the chat. Okay. Think about anyone who is struggling with, say, an addiction. If someone is addicted to gambling, until they admit that they have a problem and really fully with a full heart admit that they need help, they're stuck. They're like in a prison. They're in their own kind of slavery. There's nothing that anyone can do to liberate them. They have to realize themselves that they are stuck and are suffering and need help from God and from others. Otherwise, they're going to just be stuck there. They're going to remain stagnant. So this wasn't just true of our ancestors, that our ancestors needed to cry out in order for God to take action. It's true for anyone who is stuck in any kind of way. In fact, the Hebrew word for Egypt is Mitzrayim. Meitzar in Hebrew, the same Hebrew root, Meitzar, Mitzrayim, means a narrow place, a constricted place. So I think of Egypt not just as a country, but Egypt is a metaphor. It's any place where you feel trapped, where you feel like you're a prisoner and you feel under lachatz, under pressure, and you can't escape. When you're in that situation, you have to cry out for help. You might not be able to liberate yourself. And if you cry out to God, God will be there with you. That's the power of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the power of leaving Egypt, of leaving that narrow, constricted place. that's another great talking point for your Seder. It could lead to a very serious discussion. Or even with kids, it could lead with, you could talk about a time when a child felt like they were stuck and they had a problem and they didn't know how to solve it and it was making them sad or anxious, and they called to a parent for help, or they called to an older sibling for help. So until they called out for that help, they were stuck, they couldn't move. So this is a great, that would be a great talking point for your Seder also.